address your first home game. What's your mindset heading into this, playing in front of the home fans for the first time?
My mindset, I'm very excited. This is something that, is the reason why, I picked to come to Cleveland is to play in front of the best fans in the world. And, I've been hearing things, I've been seeing it on TV, I've been seeing it from afar, from different players and guys that's new to this team this year also, just like myself, what they talk about it and the experience. So I'm looking forward to being able to play in front of them.
Deshaun, did you see the level of improvement you were hoping from game one to game two?
Of course, that's the key of the game is just being able to improve each and every week. This is an improving league, and you can't be able to. You don't want to kind of go down each and every week. So last week was definitely an improvement. Of course, we want to score more points and win the game, but if you speak individually, yeah, it was definitely an improvement, but I have a long way to go.
Is there a specific area, like we talked about your Kansas uniform, is there something specific that you felt like really took that jump?
Just everything, the mechanics to the operation of the offense to decision making to completing balls on time. Just everything was just a complete improvement for my game.
Do you feel like it's you had mentioned you don't know when it's going to come back fully for you.
Right.
So if you kind of had to, I guess, weigh where you're at, how close do you feel like the player that you are?
I'm not close to where I'm at, and I don't want to be where I was in 2020. I want to be better. So I have a long way to go. I want to continue to improve. I want to be that player whenever I step on the field. No one can stop us, and that's my mentality. But we have to go out there and continue to show that and try to do that, and not just talk about it, but actually prove it on the field. So I'm nowhere near where I want to be, and this team also is nowhere near where we want to be. So we got to continue to just keep growing and finish the season strong.
Deshaun, is it hard to kind of not put a timetable on it in your mind, knowing like, okay, you've got 4 games left and you got a whole offseason to kind of get back to the way you were? Is it kind of hard not to put a timetable on it?
No, I don't put limits on myself. I don't put timetables on myself. Like I said, each and every day I just try to find a way to improve. So if that's mentally, if that's leadership, if that's the student of the game, play calling, getting on the same page with Kevin, AVP, and those guys, like every day is an opportunity for me to improve. So I don't want to put any limits or no timetable on myself because I'm setting myself up for who knows, disappointment or something like that if I don't meet that time limit.
Deshaun, Amari talked about getting some fireworks in the offense. Do you see that? How important that is to get the explosive part of the game on the offense?
Yeah, of course, that's what we want to, aim for is being able to be explosive, get those big chunks downfield each and every time. But, before we do that, we have to do the little things right. And that's taking the, little, easy plays that the defense give us, the run game, getting that going. And once we can kind of put all that together, then the big plays is going to, take care of itself. So if we can do the little things right, then the big things will take care of itself. But I agree with Amari, that's what we want. That's what we have the athletes and the talent to be able to make those explosive plays, and we just got to go out there and make sure we do it.
Are you getting used to the weather yet?
Yeah, it's it's a little chilly, but when I'm on the field, I just be so locked in on football, so I don't be worried about the weather.
It's been a mild winter so far, actually.
Oh yeah, so hopefully it stays that way.
How about this Ravens defense with them adding Roquan? Patrick Green is playing really well, and Calais. What about what challenges do they present?
Oh, they present a lot of challenges. This is a defense that it's very hard to find a weakness. They're talented all across the board, so you have to give them credit from the D-line, linebackers to the secondary, and then they can just roll guys in. I think the biggest thing for them is, they have depth. So regardless if somebody go out, it's another guy that's coming in and play very, very well. But we're up for the challenge, and that's the point of playing in this division each and every week. Cincinnati last week, Baltimore this week, and then same with Pittsburgh. Guys are very, very talented. They have great defenses, and then the coordinators are very, very good. So we have a challenge on our hand, and we're going to go out there and try to succeed.
This division has a reputation for being very physical. A lot of guys that come to Cleveland or Pittsburgh, Baltimore, they mention that.
Correct.
As a player who's not afraid to be physical yourself and run the ball, and that, how do you balance being physical and aggressive with protecting yourself and avoiding a big collision?
That's the name of the game. It's just availability. You know, if I'm not available, then I can't help the team. And that goes for everybody. So at the same time, you know, you got to be physical, you got to be smart. But from my position, being the quarterback, I'm not going to go and try to run over a safety. That's not me. You know, I just slide and get on to the next play. I leave that to the linebackers and the receivers if they want to do all that. But for me, I'm just, you know, trying to make sure I'm getting up for the next play so I can, you know, stay on the field as much as possible to try to help the team win.
Deshaun, like 2 games in now, how do you feel like you are with your conditioning, being in football shape? Is that something that you can really only up as you get more games in?
Yeah, that's something that, you know, just each and every week, just continue to try to improve on that one. It was definitely a lot better last week than it was the previous week. So I'm going to continue to just improve my conditioning and my stamina, and so I can be able to go out, you know, do long drives and communicate the operation of the offense.
Deshaun, do you think you've had an opportunity for those fireworks and you just haven't had the timing down, or has it been just more of a, you know, easing it into thing and not really having the opportunity for the huge play?
I mean, you got to look at the schemes of the defense. You know, Houston didn't allow us to have any big shots. Cincinnati did the same thing. You know, with the two shots we wanted, they got back and did a, you know, we call it, they cut the crossers and slingshot the corners. So, you know, teams are doing a good job of trying to take that away because they know exactly, you know, from when I was in Houston, that was something that I was very, very successful with. So, you know, just those opportunities got to come up. We got to see it. We got to hit it. And we just got to, you know, not hope for it, but whenever those opportunities pop up, we just got to make sure we take it.
The best part of your game is throwing the ball down the field?
It's one of them for sure. Yes, sir.
Did you hear Marlon Humphrey say they wanted to give you a not so soft welcoming into the AFC North and the rivalry?
I just heard of it when I walked into the locker room. But no, of course, you know, that's the key of the game. You know, they got to do their job to try to rattle me and rattle everyone else around, and you know, that's the fun of the game. So, you know, I love to compete. I love to go out there. So, you know, they're going to try to rattle me, and I'm going to do the same thing. When
you played the Ravens a couple times when you were with the Texans, did it feel like kind of a different brand of football because they're known for their physicality and it's AFC?
No, not at all. You know, they did what they had to do against us in Houston. You know, I think the 2019 when we went to Baltimore, they put numbers on us, and then in 2020 they came to Houston. I think it was week 2. They beat us by 14 or something like that. I can't remember the score, but you know, they did whatever they needed to do to get that victory and put points on the board, and we didn't do our job when I was in Houston. But you know, this is a new opportunity, new challenge, and you know, a whole different new team. So you know, I'm looking forward to the challenge.
Deshaun, how could this be a successful season if you guys don't make the playoffs?
You know, just trying to improve each and every day, and that's my mindset. You know, I can't control, you know, how the rankings and status like that. The only thing I can control is try to win it on Sunday. So if we can win, Saturday, the next 2 weeks, and finish out the season strong, then who knows what can happen. And if we make it or not, you know, that's something that, you know, we just got to let how things play out.
And in terms of like the growth over the last couple of weeks with Kevin as a play caller, are you guys feeling more comfortable?
Yeah, we just each and every day is an opportunity for us to get more comfortable, to see different things with different schemes that we're going against, what he's thinking, what I'm thinking. So, you know, it's only been 2.5 weeks of me and Kevin really working together. So, you know, this thing, the sky's the limit, and we just got to keep, you know, try to work and improve.
When you talk about timing, is it easier or more difficult to get the timing down on deep shots compared to kind of the short to intermediate stuff?
I mean, just everything is about timing at the end of the day. But, you know, at the end of the day, you know, for me as a quarterback, I got to anticipate because, you know, there's injuries that happen, things that happen. So, you know, you might be, out there with a guy, you know, that haven't practiced with you all week. So, yeah, I say timing is definitely key. But, you know, that's something that in my mind I don't really try to, you know, process because everyone needs to be in the same spot. We need to be, you know, when that play is being called. So, you know, things happen, but I don't want to make any type of excuse of, hey, this is all about timing and things like that. You know, at the end of the day, we got to make the plays, and I got to make the throws.
Based on what you've experienced so far with the fans in Cleveland, and I know there have been some issues on the road with chants and signs and things like that. But based on your experience here, what kind of a reception do you anticipate getting at First Energy Stadium in terms of positive, maybe some not positive?
I'm not even sure. You know, my main objective for this weekend is going out there and just showing this crowd and showing the Cleveland fans in this city that we're going out there to compete, and this season is not over for us. So I can't control what the reactions are going to be. I'm not sure what it's going to be, but like I said, I'm excited to go out there and play football and be, and get back in the old school uniforms and the white face masks and things like that, and have a little bit of fun and just try to make the Saturday something special for Cleveland.
Deshaun, one of the challenges for an offensive line with a mobile quarterback like yourself is having to hold those blocks a little extra longer as you extend the plays. It makes susceptible for holding penalties or linemen leaking down the field. From your standpoint, what do you do to work with the line maybe to, I guess, help them learn you as a player when you're extending those plays?
It's not so much of me telling them anything, because I kind of just play the game and I react. And if I sit there and try to tell them, hey, this is what I'm going to do, and then they might be thinking of something totally different. And if I don't do that, then it's not, we're not on the same page. So I think it's a feel thing. It's a feel like, hey, in this situation, in this protection, D. Watt is going to be sitting in the pocket on this side of the hash, or vice versa. So I think it's just kind of a feel, and just having me react to certain situations and going through live reps. And once you feel that out, and then the whole line kind of figure out what they got to do to make sure that we don't get those holding penalties.
Going back to the topic of Cleveland weather real quick, in March after the trade, the Haslam's said that they thought that was something they really had to overcome for you to, ultimately choose the Browns.
Right.
Especially because of the conditions you faced a couple of years ago when Houston came here. How much did that enter your thinking when you were going through all your options?
My main focus was what's the best situation for me, and what's the best situation for the organization to win a Super Bowl. And I felt like Cleveland was the best situation. That's something that he asked me for sure, but I told him at the end of the day, it's football. You can get any weather in any situation other than, playing in a dome. But, for me, my main focus was just, what is the locker room like? What is the organization like? How can we go win a Super Bowl? And that was my main focus, and that's why I chose Cleveland.
Who did you say asked you that?
No, the Haslams, they asked me about the weather, yeah, for sure. But that's what I told them, like, the weather that's not a priority right now. My priority is, like I said, teammates, locker room, coaching staff, and what's the best opportunity for me to go win a Super Bowl.
Now you're here in December, going to play at home for the first time. Do you think it's a legitimate challenge playing quarterback, or is it just kind of not a real factor for you?
Like I said, of course it's a challenge. I'd be crazy if I, sat up here and said it's not a challenge. But, not just for me, but it's for the opponent also. Baltimore got to come in and deal with the same weather as we do. So, we just got to go out there and just, put the weather to the side and just try to make as many plays as we can.
What do you remember?
Last one here?
What do you remember about that game in 2020? It was like windy and rainy. I think there was a delay.
Yeah, that was crazy. That was something I wasn't nowhere close to expecting and wasn't used to. So yeah, it was like 5 different weather changes in an hour. So it was pretty nuts.